Hey guys, welcome back to Creep It 100. Today we are going over part 2 of Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman. This is Kinson here again, and I am here with Mark. Mark, say hi.
Hello!
There you go. And I know I said that Jeanette might be back this episode, but here's the thing. On this podcast, sometimes we lie, and that was one of them. So, she's not here, but I am going to promise you she'll be back next week. Next week we have a very exciting episode for you too, and I'll tell you all about it at the end of today's episode, so make sure to hold in for that. Hold until the end. Don't skip. I'll know if you skip. I can see the analytics of it. I'll know if you skip, and if you do, I'm blocking you directly. But with that being said, let's get back into part 2 of Richard Kuklinski. In this episode, we're going to be going over all of the murders. Well, not all. Some of the murders that he was on trial for, because there's way too many to cover, and we have way too little time to do it. We're going to be discussing some of the ones that he was on trial for, and the pretty anticlimactic end to one of the worst and scariest men to ever be in New York until Jimmy Fallon. So, thanks, bud.
That took a second. I was like, God, what did he do?
Yeah, sometimes he goes crazy. You know, sometimes his show, he be giving like the camera a little bit of look, and you can see those reptilian eyes. It's a little too much for me sometimes.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So I know on last week's episode we had a lot of Winona Ryder facts. Every time it got a little too dark, we wanted to continue that. But here's the thing. We might run out of facts because this week is going to be a pretty heavy hitter, guys. We have a lot going on, a lot of murders.
It's a good thing I've got more than 40 right here.
Oh, perfect. Okay, then you might maybe not run out.
All right, well,
let's find out, guys.
Let's find out.
Let's dive right into it. So on last week's episode, we left off where he had just interviewed with DeMeo, and he was now the contract killer for the Gambino family, along with 7 other crime families around New York. Gambino, that family they were okay. You know, they were one of the big ones, but they weren't the biggest one. And the way that DeMeo ran this operation was he ran this place called the Gemini Lounge. And the Gemini Lounge was actually a historical landmark, and still is, for finding a lot of bodies in. Every time they do any renovations, they find them in the walls, because it was a mafia hangout, and it's been reported that there is about over 200 plus bodies somewhere in there, and that have been confirmed to at least have gone through there, sliced, diced, chopped, whatever you want to call it. And it's confirmed that Richard Kuklinski actually brought a few there to be, in their words, processed.
Do we need a fun fact?
Yeah, 200 plus bodies, maybe one, maybe a light fact.
Okay, okay. Why don't I just continue the one from last episode? Okay, so as we know, Winona Ryder and Gwyneth Paltrow had a falling out.
Yes.
And this is nutty because it was over a role in Shakespeare in Love. Winona was up for that part. Gwyneth Paltrow saw the script in her house. She ended up going after the role. Gwyneth Paltrow got it, and she won Oscar for Best Actress for that role.
That's rough. It's
not a fun fact. That's a sad fucking fact.
That is a sad fucking fact. I don't know where. This is a very, mistitled article.
I found a new one.
This is a new one from last week, and it's still sad?
No, that was the same one from last week.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
This is the new website. Look.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, so that was just a conclusion of last week's. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you want another one? You want another one real quick?
No, we're gonna need them. We're gonna need all we can have. We're gonna need to preserve those.
There's a really sad one here.
Okay, I'll say that when something gets too happy. We'll say that.
Yeah, if it gets
when he dies, and everybody's
I don't even
happy
want to make a
about it.
joke out of that, bro. I don't even want to make a joke.
Okay, maybe we'll skip that.
No, the world needs to know. Many members of her family perished in the Holocaust.
Whoa.
Yeah. I needed to get that off my chest. I needed to...
What number is that?
5.
40?
5?
They ran out of ideas. They ran out of ideas that fast that they were like, you know what? Let's introduce the Holocaust? That's crazy. Yeah, you're right. Okay, you know what? Well, I think that needs a Richard Kuklinski fact.
It does, to counter that, yeah.
To counter it out. So this one, we actually do have an exact date. And the reason we have an exact date is even more sad. So I will just tell you the story, and then I will tell you why we have that exact date. This was on March 14th of 1980. He got a call, and this call was very weird to him because he just got this call to just get in a van and drive down the road in a very specific road, specific direction, just start driving. He said, okay, whatever gets me some money. Gets in the van, starts driving. All of a sudden, gets another call. He says, your target is coming towards you. He's on the other side of the road. He's going to intersect with you in about 20 minutes. He says, okay, I'll see what I can do. They're both in moving vehicles, so this is going to be a tough one for him. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about a strategy, and what he decides to do is he pulls off because he knows it's a back road. It's not like he's going like 70 miles an hour. It's a back road. So he pulls off, and he double parks his van. So the only way that this dude can get around is by going straight behind the back of the van. Kuklinski gets out through the back, brings his shotgun with him, gets down on the ground on his stomach so he can look underneath the car and see when there's headlights coming towards him. About 20 minutes rolls by. He sees headlights, and he doesn't even know if it's him. He doesn't even have a car description. He just is going for it. He sees the car go by, and right when it gets about even with him, he takes the shot straight at him, right into the driver's seat, kills the dude, gets back in the van, leaves. And the only reason that we know it was specifically March 14th is because this was extremely investigated, because this victim happened to be a police officer.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the right guy?
It was the right guy.
Okay.
Kuklinski was not told that it was an officer before, but turns out this officer was going to he was a witness to some of the family's crime activities. So they just said it was a normal guy to go take him out. Richard assigned the contract, and when questioned, would you have still taken the contract if you knew it was an officer? He said, and I quote, yeah, probably.
Jeez. Did you know Winona Ryder's stage name derives from Mitch Ryder?
Who is Mitch
A
Ryder?
soul and rock singer of whom her father was a fan.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just her last name. I always forget that people change stage names and things like that. Most people aren't named cool names.
Yeah.
So getting back into this, okay, it's probably not great to say favorite stories, but one I think that is the most interesting and the most telling about the Iceman is specifically this story that happened on Christmas Eve. He's not very specific about which Christmas Eve. I just know that it's between 81 and 83, and probably closer to 81, because 83 is about where he kind of got his stride, and he was kind of doing this constantly. But in 81, 82 was, I don't know, he was kind of slowing down. He wasn't doing a lot, or at least he just wasn't talking about it a lot. But in the Christmas in 81 or 82, this man literally took a life over $1,600. This was a personal debt. This one wasn't even a hit. He just did this. And it's over the most petty reason I could possibly think of. So, it's Christmas Eve. He wants to go buy some toys for his kids. Because like I said, he's in the middle of this white picket fence fake life. With a wife, 2 kids, 3 kids. With this wife, he has 2 kids with the last one, 3 with this one. He wants this money. It's $1,600 to buy some toys. So, he goes to the man. The man says he doesn't have it. He says okay, and he leaves. He's irritated, but he goes home. And he's starting to build toys on Christmas Eve so he can wrap them for his kids in the morning. And in the middle of building these toys, this is what he says. This is an account from him. Is the toy started to irritate him because he couldn't build it right. And in him not building this toy right, got so irritated that he left the house about midnight, went back to the bar, asked for the guy. They said, he's not here. We don't know where he is. He is told that the guy is sitting in his car a few blocks away. He goes and follows. He finds his car. He sees it. It's in a closed parking garage. He's still in there. He sees that the car's on. He goes in. He knocks on the window. The dude, thinking that they're all cool, says, "Oh, what's up? Like, glad you came back out. Come here, come around. Get in the passenger seat. Like, let's talk for a little bit." Gets in the passenger seat. His car is completely covered in snow. So it is, completely black in there. It's caked with snow on top of it, completely secured. He listens to him for about 2 minutes and then fires the gun twice. Shoots him. Kuklinski shoots this man. First one got him right in the chest, and then he started to bend over, so second one got him in the bottom of the chin. Richard says that he was immediately stunned because of all the snow, the flash reflected off of all of the snow-covered windows, and basically was like a flashbang in there. And he said he got dazed and he didn't know what he was doing, and it took him like 4 or 5 minutes to recover, and it wouldn't do anything. Richard said the worst part about all of this is when he was done, he reached in the man's pocket, there was a huge wad of cash. He took the $1,600 that he was owed, put the rest of it back in his pocket, drove home, continued building toys for his kids, had a great Christmas.
God damn. Did you know Winona Ryder suffers from aquaphobia because of a traumatic near-drowning experience at age 12? This caused problems with the underwater scenes in Alien Resurrection, some of which had to be reshot numerous times.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I think we could go for one more. That was a pretty rough one.
So too. I think it was. Let me find a good one.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we definitely need a good one because we're about to get into his serial killer bestie, who they just went out and had a little serial killer time together, and they taught each other their favorite ways to kill people. That's not a joke at all. He actually had a little serial killer best friend who also went around and killed people, and they had a little bromance going on. It was cute.
Yikes. Wow. All these have like huge stories with them, so. She received Best Actress. No, she received a Best. When did she do this? Hold on. In 1995, she was nominated for Best Actress at the Oscars.
All right. There is a good one.
Ow!
Oh. All right. And with that fact and with Mark maybe dead, we will go ahead and take a break, and we will be right back to you with the tale of Richard Kuklinski and Mr. Softy, his serial killer bestie.
This episode is pretty scary, but what's scarier is not having access to your favorite Paramount horror films like Friday the 13th, A Quiet Place, and Scream. With Paramount Plus, you have access to a mountain of entertainment, groundbreaking originals, iconic movies, hilarious reality shows, game-winning sports, and so much more. It's all here on Paramount Plus. Plans start as low as $4.99. If you bundle with Showtime, you can save up to 28%. This was a pretty intense episode, so if you need something lighthearted to distract your mind, click the link in the description below to sign up for a free trial.
All right, guys, welcome back. That was a good break that we all took. We are fresh. We are relaxed. We are back with plenty of Winona Ryder facts. We're going to go ahead and spill those to you as soon as we talk about something terrible. Speaking of something terrible, we're back in it. The Iceman. So I told you right after that break we would talk about his serial killer bestie, Mr. Softy. And no, that's not a joke either. That's his real name. That's what they called him. And the reason they called him that is because he drove one of the Mr. Softy ice cream trucks. And he would use this ice cream truck. He sold ice cream to little kids and used all this. Like, he just was a normal ice cream man. But what he would do is he would use those routes, and he would use selling these ice cream as a way to scout people and as a way to get into people's neighborhoods, be inconspicuous, and just seem normal. Richard met him, and they both kind of had like one of those like, are you moments with each other of being like killers.
And then they kissed.
Yeah, and then they kissed in the back of the truck. And but then the speaker was on, and that's when he got shot.
Huh? Wait,
No,
what?
nothing. Scrap the last 3 lines.
That didn't happen? That's a joke?
No, that didn't happen. So
I was like, damn, they really weren't
Yeah,
friends.
good guess,
Lied
good
to
guess.
me. We do lie on this podcast.
we do lie on this podcast. Yeah, it's our favorite thing to do. This whole story actually didn't happen. I made this up.
That's nutty. That's nutty as fuck.
Yeah, Richard Kuklinski didn't exist, bro. I'm gonna start gaslighting our audience into thinking that real serial killers don't exist.
Who? I'm gonna gaslight you into thinking we have an audience.
Oh god.
Isn't that right, audience? Yeah.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah,
there they
thank
were.
you.
Thanks, guys. We're gonna use that when it gets late and we don't think you're real anymore. So, Mr. Softy had a very unique way of killing people, and he used chemicals a lot of the time, which would become Kuklinski's favorite thing to use. He would use cyanide a lot. He would use like different poisons through, dust, through needles, through anything you could imagine. And Mr. Softy's tale does not have a very good end. He was found shot 5 times in the driver's seat of his ice cream truck, and people think that Kuklinski had something to do with it, but they just don't know. They just do not know. He says he didn't. He says it wasn't him, and I don't know why he would lie, but also don't know why he would tell the truth, to be honest. So that one's up in the air. No one knows that one. That one is unsolved to this day. But all we know is that after Mr. Softy, when he started learning about his cyanide, is when he did one of the craziest stunts he's ever done. He was trying to get this target, and this target was inside of a club. The club had loud music, and there was dancing, and people were running everywhere, and so he couldn't get close to his target. He notices across the room that there's this gay couple. Nobody's talking to this gay couple. Nobody's doing anything with this gay couple, and they kind of have free range around because, at the time, nobody was really paying attention to gay people. So he decides that he's going to act gay to get to his target. He leaves the club. He walks across the street, and this is not a joke. He goes to this little bodega, and he picks out this bright yellow jacket, these super colorful pants. He gets like a red boa thing, puts that in his hair, and he walks back in, and he says, I'm going to go extra, super extra. And he starts dancing across the dance floor in this crazy outfit, so people think he's gay, and he said it worked perfectly. he gets across the dance floor while dancing, and he bumps into this dude. And quote him, "I bumped into him, just a little nudge, then he happened to have a heart attack."
Nah.
Yep, that's what he said. The heart attack was induced by, the needle that he stuck into him.
Oh.
He bumped into him.
Oh, yeah. That'll do that.
And then when he was asked what was inside the needle, he repeated, "A heart attack."
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
One thing I do want to note that was actually very funny and surprising is during this interview, when he's talking about mimicking these gay people, he's beyond respectful of gay people. He really wants you to know he's not homophobic. He's like, "Oh yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with gay people,
He may kill people, but he's not a monster.
That's what I'm saying." I was like, this is a weird time to just put on your, I've killed over 100 people, but
I'm an ally.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I've killed over 100 people, but I celebrate Pride Month. Lord.
I mean, that's some good. He respects the gays. That's some good news. We don't need a Winona Ryder joke.
Yeah, no, I think we left that on a good one. I think this is the first end story where we don't need a fun fact. I think we're good.
Yeah, that was a positive little twist. He still killed someone, but ally.
Yep. So things get a little interesting after this. Is DeMeo, the man, if you remember, who's been sending him all these jobs, all of a sudden shows up dead. 1983. Perfect Richard Kuklinski MO for the kill. Shows up dead, but Richard always says that it wasn't him. He claims to this day it wasn't him.
So it matched the type of ammo he used? Is that what you're saying?
No, his MO, not his ammo.
Oh,
but yeah. He it just matched the way that he kills people. It was through cyanide. It was through cyanide. It was in the system, and then there was also bullets. He was found with, I think, 5, which is for some reason usually how many Kuklinski shot. Is he usually would shoot them 3 times, bang 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 stomach. When they bent over, he would wait till he saw the back of their head, and then 2 more in the back of the head. Was his go-to routine. So, like I said, he says no to this crime, and honestly, I'm kind of tempted to believe him on this one. I don't think that he killed DeMeo. DeMeo was how he was making money, He was the one giving him all these jobs. He was the one making him rich. There's no use to killing this guy. But it is with this investigation is when the police got their first scent of Richard Kuklinski, is when they were investigating DeMeo. Went through all of his contacts, all of all of his associates. This is the first time that they got wind of Kuklinski's name. Right around this time is when he started getting scared. Like I said, he got arrested in 1985. So this was a 2-year difference. And it took almost this entire 2 years to arrest him. He started getting scared, Kuklinski did, and he started killing literally everybody he knew. Everybody who knew who he was, he just started taking out, one at a time, to the point where he could go back and be his family man, and literally there was no one alive that knew he was a contract killer. The only person that knew was going to be him.
Jeez.
He was literally going to try to factory reset his life.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Winona Ryder wanted to be a competitive skateboarder when she was younger?
She has the look. She looks like she used to ride skateboards. You know what I mean?
She does.
Yeah.
And she did.
Her bone structure screams I'm on the board.
Yeah. Half pipes and all. Anyway.
Yeah. I think it's the sharp draw line. So one of the people that he eliminated in this, basically purge of his life was his old partner George Malaban. This is who ran with him when he was doing the pirated DVDs, if you remember from last episode, and the pirated pornography. George Malaban was, one of his go-to guys. Apparently they were driving around one day, and George says, "I know you would never kill me because I know you wouldn't want anything to ever happen to your family." Richard does not like that. So, from that day, he spends the next 4 weeks planning exactly how he's going to kill Malaban.
Oh, fuck.
Yep. I mean, come on. What did you think was going to happen? Realistically. Man says he's got over 100 confirmed kills and you're just going to, talk shit on his family? And Richard even says that, a little more eloquently than what I just said, but almost the same thing to him. On the day that he does it, the day that he kills Malaban, he goes, and he's driving him, and they're supposed to be meeting for a deal, for a DVD deal, again, because he's still running these operations, but at just bigger scale. Apparently, it's like a $27,000 operation. They're supposed to be going to it, and he pulls over the van, and he says, "A few weeks ago, we were talking, and you said, about how you would threaten my family. Did you mean that?" Malaban answers, "Yeah, it's the only way I know you would never do anything. You don't want anything happening to your family." Again, he doubles down. Richard says, "No, we're going to stop that. I'm going to put a stop to that right now, actually." Bang, bang, bang. Stomach, stomach, stomach. 3 bullets. He starts leaning over, dying. 2 more in the back of the head.
God.
He then, like I ended last week's episode on, this is the first crime, this is the first murder that is 100% tied to Richard Kuklinski, and the first one that he gets put on trial for. He then grabs the body, he stuffs it in an oil drum, but can't get the leg to fit. So he rips the tendons on the leg out to fit it into the oil drum, then just tosses it out of the back of the van, goes on his way.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fact worthy.
Oh shit! Yeah, I was very immersed into that. Oh, Audrey Hepburn used to send Winona Ryder clothes.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's nice. That's a good one. Yeah. So this is the first. Like I said, cops caught wind of him in 1983, but there was nothing concrete to get him on. But they've been looking at him this whole time. All of a sudden, this happens. They see Malaban. They see Malaban dead. All of Malaban's family said that he was with Richard that day. So they have, enough evidence to start looking at him. So in 1985, what might be the smartest and dumbest detective I've ever heard of in my life goes undercover to catch Richard. This detective's name is Dominic Polifrone. I want you to just give a guess of how much he changed his name to go undercover. His undercover name.
Since you're asking, I'm willing to bet he didn't change it.
So the first one is Dominic, spelled with a K at the end.
Okay.
He changes it to Dominic with a C.
Whoa.
His real name, Dominic Polifrone. Undercover name, Dominic Provenzano.
That's too close.
It's so close. It's so close. I was trying to think of any excuse. The only one I can get close to is so that he had less training responding to the new name. So that way, if someone said Dominic, he would still answer.
That could be it.
And if someone said the last name, like instead of like completely pronounced like I did, they were just like Dominic Pro, he would turn around. That's my only theory, but even that is dumb. Just learn your lines, learn your name.
That makes sense, though. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I would change it a little more if I'm going after 100 confirmed kills,
I mean, if I were you, your name's Kinson, bro. How many are there in the world? Like 3?
There's like 6, yeah.
Yeah, like, you're gonna be found.
Yeah, bro.
These are
It'd be like if I went
fucking
undercover and changed my name from Kinson with an I to Kinson with an E.
The police would find you, but your dad.
Right, still elusive, still elusive. So, Dominic ends up going undercover for 18 months. And this part, he does kind of smart, not gonna lie. He becomes friends with Kuklinski's friends. He doesn't go up to Kuklinski ever for like a year. He just becomes in part of the group and part of like, you know, his like outside posse. Like I said, Kuklinski didn't have a lot of friends, so the only people that he associated with is who Dominic started becoming friends with. And eventually he starts getting in enough, and he starts every once in a while saying stuff to Kuklinski about cyanide, about poison, about things like that. And you wouldn't think so, but Kuklinski cannot help himself. He starts bragging. They have him on multiple audio tapes talking about the cyanide. They have him talking about several other killings. They have him talking about the oil drum thing. And they have his most famous case of the reason he is named the Iceman. This is the most popular case, and this is the one that was used in court all the time because he admitted to what he does with all of his bodies. This is insane. It's so smart, and I've never heard of this. What he would do is he would kill someone. He would take them away from the scene of the crime, put them in a freezer. He would leave them in the freezer for as long as he so pleased, take them out, put them back at the scene of the crime, so that the time of death would be skewed by days, weeks, years. So they could never identify. So, like, you know, he kills homeboy on Monday. He puts him in the freezer till Thursday.
I know what you're talking about.
Then on Friday, he puts him back out there. But all Friday, he's been seen doing other stuff. He's somewhere else. So when the time of death, when he thaws on Friday night, Richard's at like a bar around hella people. All these people see him. He has tons of witnesses. He has tons of alibis. Because when that body thaws is the exact time of death that it will read. And he did that to most of his victims, and that's how he never got caught. And that is why he was named the Iceman.
That is so wild.
Mm-hmm. So
you want to hear something kind of wild?
yeah, hippie.
So Winona Ryder suffers from insomnia, and she allegedly has had habits of talking on the phone with actor Al Pacino, who also suffers from insomnia.
Oh.
That's also pretty wild, I'd say.
I think that is wild. But, you know what's even more wild?
Do I need another fact ready?
No. Actually,
Is it that wild or no?
No, I think we're actually good.
Okay.
I think we're winding down here. So, after these tapes and after they came out, they had enough to convict him. They set up a deal where Dominic was supposed to come and buy cyanide from Richard. They show up to the deal, and it's obviously a setup. It took 5 full-grown men to apprehend Richard. Because, like I said, he's 6'5" and 300 pounds. He's a big boy.
Yeah, Richard's a beast.
Yes. So it took 5 full men to get him. They put him in jail. Actually, I lied. You're going to need one more fact. They put him in jail. And it turns out he was in the same jail as his brother.
Oh, what?
Yup. And his brother had a rough crime. Rough reason for being there.
What is it?
This is you got your fact ready?
I got my fact. I got it
You
ready.
sure?
It's in the chamber.
So
Joseph. I shouldn't have said
Kuklinski.
that.
No, Joseph. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop all jokes right now because this is actually extremely fucked and extremely sad.
Okay.
In 1970, keep in mind we're in 1985 at the moment. 1970 is 15 years prior.
Okay.
Joseph Kuklinski, who was born after, he was younger than Richard, was convicted of raping a 12-year-old girl and then murdering her by throwing her off of the top of a 5-story building along with her dog. Sentenced to life in prison. And on accident, they put Richard in the same jail where they interacted daily until the day Richard died.
Oh my god. That is just fucked. And weird. A very weird coincidence.
They gave him one of the only things he cares about, which is family. On accident.
That's so nutty, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And right before you read this fact, I will tell you, this is the last fact, I promise. Everything else will be fine.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Cheer us up.
Winona Ryder's agent begged her not to do Heathers in 1988. She said it would destroy her career.
That is one of the only movies I know her from, so I'm glad she did.
Me too. I like Heathers.
I like Heathers too. So, like I said, he was put into jail, and this is when he started doing all these interviews. His sentencing was two consecutive life sentences. He was set to go on trial for more murders, but they just said never mind, because it doesn't matter and it would not affect. He's never getting out, so they just said it doesn't matter if he just admits that he did it. We're not doing a trial because it does not affect his stay. Like I said in last week's episode, he was not eligible for parole until he was 111 years old. And 18 years after he was put in jail, he developed Kawasaki disease, which is basically an inflammation of the red blood cells. He developed this disease. After complaining about it for a few weeks, he was taken to the infirmary. He was starting to lose, he was starting to get lost. He was starting to be short on breath. His heart rate declined. He told the doctor, "You better bring me back." But fortunately for all of us, his wife, who he was still married to at that time, had signed a DNR, do not resuscitate.
Shit.
Richard slipped into a coma, and they pulled the plug after giving her a call and asking if they wanted him to be resuscitated. And so ended Richard Kuklinski and all of his crimes, all on March 5th of 2006.
Wow.
And I did not realize that Iceman was going to be such a heavy hitter for our first true crime series. But we got through it.
Thanks to Winona Ryder.
Thanks to Winona Ryder, yeah. We're going to need... this might have to become a reoccurring bit where we just go over all these nice things, because they do get intense. But like I said, guys, that is the end of Richard Kuklinski. If you guys have anything you want to tell us about, make sure to put that in the comments or in your reviews. Let us know what you guys think about these series, and let us know who you want to suggest for up next. We definitely do take a look at all those reviews, and we do look at your guys' input. So let us know. And you never know. You might get your wish come true. We might talk about who you want to talk about. But making it on a lighter note, I do want to talk about next week's episode. So next week, we are going to be reviewing Jaws. This will be my first time watching the movie, and this will be just in time because that is going to release on July 5th.
It is right after July 4th. It's our 4th of July special.
Yep, 4th of July special. We are doing Jaws. It's going to be a great time, guys. After this episode, do not do anything else other than go watch Jaws. Until next week, 2 times a day. So that you're ready to review it and you know more about the movie than us. So with that being said, guys, Mark, you got anything else for us?
There will be no Winona Ryder facts next week.
No, it'll be a lot lighter. 0 fun facts, unless I sneak a few in.
You never know. You truthfully never know.
You never know. Because, like I said, we lie.
We lie on this podcast.
We lie on this podcast. It's one of the main things we do. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and follow us on all of our socials at Creep8100pod. Make sure to follow us, give us a listen, give us a rating on everywhere you can find our podcast. And we will see you guys next week for our 4th of July special and our review of Jaws.
Dun 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 dun. I'll see you next week.